This podcast is brought to you by Sri Kandi Associates.
Looking for your first matrimonial house? Wanting to upgrade? Look no further.
For your property matters, contact Sri Kandi Associates at 8788-3559.
And also follow them on Instagram at srikandi.associates.
Sri Kandi, selling solutions, not promises. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Outside In with your host, Yanto.
Fara, your go-to source for honest conversations about relationships and marriage.
So if you are ready, let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, hari ni I sangat
Gembira,
excited, gembira,
Yes.
nervous pun sikit ada. Takut nangis lagi. Tapi
Nervous, takut.
yeah, I think today, Alhamdulillah, it's like I would rather say a follow-up situation in a sense.
Yes, but okay, but before we reveal, right, I want you guys right now to guess.
Nanti dah nampak apa copywriting?
Tak dah nampak thumbnail semua. But it's okay lah, just guess lah. Who is the person that made a lot of people cry with his episode?
To date, his episode is one of the top played episodes in our YouTube, in our Spotify, one of the top reels that's being shared even till today. Kadang-kadang, you know, it made an impact not just for us but also for Outside In and also for a lot of people's life when he shared his story on Outside In many months ago.
Yes, and also Alhamdulillah, through this person, kita cakap je lah Raihan, through Raihan, Alhamdulillah, through Raihan we also met Haikal, right?
Yes, Haikal.
Yes, Alhamdulillah.
Haikal, who is also a therapist, and also I think we leave the introduction to them lah. I think perhaps we'll say first, welcome Raihan, then Haikal. How are you?
Yes, thank you for having us here.
Alhamdulillah.
It's good, Alhamdulillah.
So it's a privilege and it's an honor to have Raihan again back on Outside In. Of course, apa aku terbicak lagi? Minta maaf. To have him back here and also with his good friend Haikal, who actually Raihan shared with us regarding Haikal many months ago as well. You know, to talk about. He was like, yeah, you need to interview Haikal. He's a good person to talk about, to be on your podcast and things like that. And then kita pula share the same stage together. Masjid Sultan, you know?
1 month ago.
Yeah, so it's like Allah really planned for us to really meet. You know, walaupun at the point in time I was too busy, I keep losing the number. I keep forgetting to message Haikal. Then Allah was like, Yan, jumpa Haikal. Naik stage sama-sama, you know, mashallah. So and then now today we have Raihan and Haikal to share a bit more about, you know, kita punya mental situation, mental health, because Haikal, maybe you can introduce yourself a bit.
Yes, so my name is Haikal. Thank you for having me here today. I'm a clinical psychologist, so which technically means I sort of specialize in mental health issues lah. For myself, I deal with adult mental health, and I see a different range of clients, you know, with anxiety, depression, relationship issues. So I see couples as well.
Couples also.
Yeah,
Okay.
so couples coming in for relationship issues with, let's say, like infidelity, poor communications, and so on as well lah. Yeah, so generally anyone 18 and above, I will be able to see. And as I was sharing with you all, anything lower than that, I'm afraid of that.
Not a child psychologist.
Yeah.
Dia takut, you are scared of children.
I'm scared of children.
Tapi dia ada 3 anak kan.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want with them. Because kids, so it's a different thing.
Right. So I think yes, as mentioned, Haikal is married and has 3 children. So korang no need introduction about Raihan anymore lah. You all know who Raihan is lah.
But I want to ask Raihan lah, what is how has it been since the last time that you were on the podcast?
Okay, how has it been like emotionally, physically? Okay, first and foremost, I'm really honoured lah to be invited back to be part of this of the podcast again with the both of you, and this time ada Haikal, who'll be able to really guide us in terms of emotions and all that. Ever since the episode, okay, first and foremost, I really tak expect the episode to blow up. Like bila I reach out to you guys, I still remember, for those of you yang tak tahu, how I eventually got into Outside In podcast for that episode particularly is I was just scrolling on TikTok and they happened to be on my FYP. And then I had the issue that I really wanted to talk it out. And then I actually reached out to you guys and I said I want to talk about this issue that I have.
About having children or something.
Yeah, I spoke about like macam fertility lah. I tak cakap like exactly.
Not in depth.
Yes, not in depth. And I've never met them before tau guys. So bila on that day itself,
Ni nanti your ex-manager tahu.
It's alright.
Well,
So tu cerita lama lah.
Yeah, cerita lama. Okay.
Yeah.
So eventually I really have never met them before. So that day I came and then I shared the story and then the story just blew up. And after that episode itself, so many people out there reached out to me yang katakan bahawa that episode telah melakukan
Impacted
sesuatu.
them,
Impacted them in so many ways. And what surprised me is banyak orang yang reach out to me, they are men.
Yeah.
Men who actually are going through the same situation that we are going through. And I didn't expect to banyak sebenarnya orang dekat luar sana pun yang actually is facing such an issue.
Yeah.
And when they reached out to me, they say that one of the things that, among all the things that they say, the thing that really caught my attention the most was that they mentioned, Raihan, because of the episode, I feel I'm not alone and you have done my job to explain something that I've never been able to explain before.
Wow.
And it really made me feel macam maybe I've done my part lah to maybe help someone's relationship somehow to be better.
Right.
And it actually also helped to improve my relationship.
Masya Allah. Alhamdulillah.
Because
Also.
through the episode, I tell you, when the first episode came out, I actually told my wife that the episode is out. My wife watched with me. We both cried together. And then after that, she watched again, she watched again alone. She cried alone. And then after that, she hugged me. And then she said, I'm so sorry if all this while, I haven't been the most supporting person to you. And I said, no, you have been. Cuma the episode amplified the need to feel loved.
Yeah, faham.
Yeah,
Especially during this time.
especially during those, because she have never seen me like really spill everything out, especially on a podcast.
Right.
So ever since the episode, well, in terms of our journey to us to have a baby, we're still in it. We're still going through.
Tengah
Yes.
usaha lah.
And in fact, ada yang tanya macam, do we still continue to see a doctor and all that? Kita dah actually pause because to us, kita nak just to take this time to be just the two of us lah.
Right.
And also, we also want to focus on us first.
Right.
So in terms of the episode blowing up, helping others, Alhamdulillah. In terms of our mental health, actually, to be honest, it has also improved. Yeah, we somehow rather the episode and hearing a lot of people sharing their story also. And then guys, bila you guys text me personally DM and all that, and you guys share all this stuff, you guys make me cry too.
I can imagine orang baca.
Yeah, baca je nangis. Because we feel the same kind of pain, right?
Yeah.
So bila when I reflect back and then as I go on with my wife and over time, I meet a lot of people as well. I meet you guys, I meet Haikal who, I can pinjam Haikal's punya anak on virtual
Baru
and all
call
that.
tadi.
Yes.
Video call sampai tadi. My son wants to video call you.
Yeah.
That's how close they are, and it's amazing, to see how perkembangan kita in each of our own ways lah.
Yeah.
kan?
And like
InsyaAllah.
Raihan mentioned, there's a lot outpour of love and outpour of others also saying that they're actually going through the same thing. So that's what made me think like there's so many of us that is going through this fertility punya journey that as outside in, what can I do to help them? Right? I want them to feel macam they listen to us and they feel comforted, but at the same time I want to give something more. So perhaps that's why I feel like Haikal, in this episode, I'm looking forward lah to your, some tools that maybe you can share.
This is also not just for us, but also for our listeners untuk dapat macam feeling dalam counselling session gitu lah.
So actually sekarang ni kita dalam group counselling.
Group counselling.
I do hope that I can help, provide with the strategies, the techniques, that will be able to support you all. Like you mentioned about not about feeling alone, and a lot of people do actually say that they feel alone with their struggles, be it with the fertility journey, with work and so on. And I think with this fertility journey as well, when we think about like not alone, actually the numbers are quite staggering, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think about the number of people who, let's say, breast cancer, not how like breast cancer is a huge thing, that go for your pap smear and all that, and the number of women that actually would experience breast cancer will be like 1:9, right? But for people who actually faces issues with fertility in couples, it's almost 1:5. Right. So actually the struggles I think would be more. It's just that a lot of them would kind of let's
They keep it to
themselves. Like I mean, even if they don't keep it, maybe to the closest circle, but you're not in that circle, you don't know. But sometimes that pressures would come from people who are outside there, and then that can have an impact in their psyche, in their emotions. So I would want to start off by saying that you are not alone, right? There are people who are going through this journey as well, and they might also be having that kind of struggles as well. Right? Macam tissue box.
Dah lama tak nangis on the episode.
Oh no.
I think the one thing yang what Raihan also mentioned earlier on about being alone, that was what generally I felt as well. Then. And then I think probably it's because growing up, the idea of men not being the one with fertility issues is very less talked about. Yeah,
And also I feel like it's macam dah terbiasa. Kita fikir macam dah kahwin lah, confirm lah dah anak kan. But when we hit macam a roadblock gini kan, macam I didn't know it was so hard to get a baby,
And roadblock dia kuat juga, roadblock dia macam in the face punya. And
then you feel isolated and everything. But Masya Allah, I never would have thought in a million years that there are so many other people that is going through the same thing. But it's also macam sedih lah kan. Tapi tak apa, ini semua takdir Allah ya.
Macam Haikal cakap tadi, it's actually a common thing, tapi it's a less talk about topic. And in fact that bila when we unveil whatever that has been kept in the box for so long, it actually help to open up other boxes too. So benda-benda ni sebenarnya diperlukan untuk dikatakan, diluahkan, tapi tak pernah dilakukan seperti itu. So hence when we are able to do that, that's where it opens up more boundaries lah. Tapi then that's where kita also perlukan orang yang membantu kita. Now what's next?
Betul.
On managing this kind of emotion?
Definitely.
So we've touched on macam kita bring on asatiza and things like that, more Islamic perspective, and I feel like kita semua have that, insyaAllah I have that strong hold on faith lah. But then what about the psyche kan, macam Haikal cakap, the mental struggles, the emotional struggles that we are going through, because we are just humans also. Kita tahu ini semua takdir Allah, but everyday life tu, day to day tu, how do we go through it, right? So Haikal, have you ever counseled any issues macam gini tak?
Well, I actually do, but I would say that most of these people who come to me, I mean, I have couples, I have individuals who come to me, but they wouldn't come in and say that, I have struggles with fertility issues, right? They won't come in and say that, I'm not able to communicate with my partner. They would come in and say that, I'm having like a complicated grief. I'm suffering from a loss. Then we're like, what happened? What kind of loss is this? Then they say that, maybe they have a miscarriage. And the miscarriage, we think, miscarriage. But when they come, then we realize that it's not just one miscarriage. It's like miscarriage after miscarriage. And it's the one where they're really like, this one right is the closest that I am. And then, I got a miscarriage. Like, right. So will I not have? I'm like so close, but not there yet. And then there may be people who come in because they have anxiety. Right? They have people who would come in and say that, I'm trying to understand, right? I'm trying to figure it out, because for us, especially for us as Singaporeans, we are very used that if there's a problem, we know how to deal with it. We figure it out. No, if cancer, cancer, you can chemo, this, that. So, but in this situation, I don't know what's the step, right? It depends on luck. So I have a lot of anxiety, but when there is anxiety, it's usually because there's some form of uncertainty, right? And we as humans, we want to have that certainty. One example I can give about us wanting certainty is if, like, any one of us, if our boss calls us and asks us, hey, tomorrow first thing in the morning, see me in my office.
Rabak way.
Right, you be like, hey, what happened? You right? So that kind of uncertainty, because if the for example, if you go for like testing and all that, the doctor said, the chances is maybe this amount, right? So if this amount, then what's the likelihood that you will get? So they start ruminating. So there's all this, they will come in for different reasons. Then when we look at it, that there are struggles that they have because of this kind of not related to their fertility journey lah. And we may also have couples who have difficulties with they're struggling with communication and all that. And I would say quite a lot of them, when they struggle with that communication, is that they tend to feel, I wouldn't say feel alone, but they just feel that, it depends. For some, they'll feel alone because they feel like, how come the other person like not very affected?
I think Raihan told us this.
And then there could be others who they may feel alone because they feel that, you know what, my partner has it worse than me, especially for guys, right? You're talking about like mental health, right? For the guys, they were like, no, but you know, like for fertility and all that, it will hit the woman more. But for the guys, it's like, you know, but if my wife is upset, you know, can I be more upset than her? Like, I don't have the right to be more upset than her. So she feels very, sometimes like, I don't know, I just feel that I don't have the right to feel upset. And because for guys also, we grow up with that mentality that, you know, we're not supposed to cry, we have to be strong and all that. So they just feel that I don't know what to do with these emotions. And when they do that, you know, they will either try to avoid, they will withdraw, but if emotions, it will still come back to you lah.
I gotta add on to that. I agree. It's about, you know, because kita lelaki, we are told to, you know,
suppress our emotions.
Like, guys cannot cry, lelaki tak boleh nangis dan sebagainya kan. So bila kita dah besar ni, kita tak tahu macam mana nak handle emotions that are very overwhelming. To the point yang kalau kita dengar orang, let's say for example partner kita, dan kita tak biasa dengar dia mengeluh tentang kesedihan. Tiba-tiba dia mengeluh tentang kesedihan, kita macam, asal awak nak sedih-sedih ni? Kita macam,
because we're not used to that, kan?
We push it off. And I think the problem is that when we push it off, the other partner tak faham, that's where it gets
correct.
I think for me and Yan, personal experience lah, macam nak cakap I feel like I am the guy in the example that Haikal said. It's like I have the right to be more upset than he is, because
in our situation,
because he is the one yang ada issue tu kan. I am sad, but I am more heartbroken for him. So my sadness is coming, majority of it is coming from the fact macam the love of my life ni like cannot get what he truly wants, you know. But and honestly, genuinely for me, macam I ask myself, macam what are you sad about? It's not I'm not sad about me not being able to have a child, but more concerned about his mental well-being and like his emotional well-being. So and like I told you guys before, like I will always ask him, "Are you okay?" Then he always be like that, like, "Yeah, I'm okay, okay." But then I'm like, "Are you really okay?" Like, you know, it's a bit hard to break down those walls. So and maybe perhaps today also I want to try understand, you know, from a woman's point of view or a wife's point of view, how do we macam, you know,
navigate lah.
Navigate this.
I feel that at the same time also, you know, after we shared our story previously kan, and moving forward also, in a sense, as much as, you know, I am affected, you know, we are definitely affected by our situation and things like that. But I feel that because we are having such a strong bond between each other, you know, our husband and wife, dia punya support for my grief, for my lack of a better word is pain, is like something that I probably would not get if I were to be with someone else. So
dah nak nangis ke?
Tak. Tersedak sekejap. So I feel like in a sense, when she do ask me like, are you okay? I mean, naturally the instinct would be, I'm definitely not okay, you know. But because the fact that if you pull out this whole situation, which is probably the one thing that is affecting me or that's pulling my emotions down, if I were to just pull it aside, everything else is fine. You know, I am okay. I'm happy with the love of my life and things like that. But if you were to put back that is that sole thing that I am having infertility problems, fertility issues. If that is the only issue to me, you know. So in a way, I'm isolating that issue altogether because I don't want to feel so dragged down. Because I think you know, me and Raihan, we had a conversation before at your place. That time we were like, you know, having a heart talk, you know. Then we were saying, you know, as much as we are, you know, kita tengah istiqomah, you know, we're still trying whatever that we can do, but there are certain things that we cannot push. There's certain things that we cannot force because it's not in it. We are not the best. We are not the decision makers. Allah is the decision maker, kan? So in a sense, when you know that sharing happened, it cemented my need to be okay. You know, I don't know whether that is a healthy thing for me personally, but I feel that, you know, I need to be okay because I know that there are better plans for me. Ada masuk religion sikit lah kan. But at the same time also, I mean, I do not want to disregard the fact that I am still affected. I am still affected by that whole issue of infertility. But nevertheless, I feel there are bigger things in play for us that I need to address. For example, if we have issues with husband and wife, if we have issues in terms of our families, those things that can have any variance, then let's work on that.
Yeah, but I think as your wife kan, because you cakap you isolate this thing, right? So in my eyes tu macam I at least want to address it.
Yeah. So when you say that, you wonder when you're asking like, are you okay? He's okay, right? Now, he might say that he's okay and he might be okay, right? What he's mentioning, right? But what is it about his response or his behavior that makes you think that something is not right here?
I'm not sure, because maybe I put myself in his shoes.
Selling solutions, not promises.
Hi, I'm Ira from Sri Kandi Associates. When you intend to buy a HDB flat using a loan, you are governed by the mortgage servicing ratio. This mortgage servicing ratio is actually known as MSR, and it refers to the portion of your gross monthly income that goes towards repaying all property loans, including the loan being applied for. It is tabulated up to 30% of your household income. To ensure that your mortgage repayments remain sustainable, aim to keep your MSR within 25% of your gross monthly income. So if you want to know more about your loan eligibility and the best option for you, contact Sri Kandi Associates at 8788-3559. Sri Kandi, selling solutions, not promises.
And if I were in the position, I don't know lah. I think my mind would be all over the place and I would want to talk about it. But maybe perhaps that is because I'm a woman. I want to tell him everything how I feel.
I think I know why.
Why?
Because the very first time when we were faced with that, when we were given the news that I'm the one with the issue, I went blank. Like for a good few hours I was blank. And then I couldn't even talk. That malam tu, when she asked me, "Are you okay?" and then she hugged me, right? That was when I broke down like massively. Like it was like a baby wailing kind of broken down. So when we went through more tests and whatnot, and the doctor said a similar thing, which probably could be even worse, I wasn't reacting the way I was reacting the first time. Yeah, in my defense, I would say because I kind of expected it, but at the same time, I probably feel that this time around I'm much more prepared for the news as compared to the first time. Yeah, so then maybe her fear probably could come from the fact that she saw me breaking down so badly the first time.
Yeah,
probably.
perhaps.
Maybe that's what you felt. Huh?
Yeah.
So what's the growth or development since then? So is there like more higher levels of acceptance for you?
I would say, it's definitely number one is acceptance, and in the fact that I feel, I saw the results for the first time. The second time was more intense, was more a more in-depth result, which requires even more operations to be done in future. So with that being said, I think I know that I am willing to go through anything, but as compared to the first time, I thought, lelaki takkan ada masalah punya. And then you just get punched in the face out there. So this time around, I'm all guarded up with a Captain America shield.
Right. And also, can I? Because I want to ask Haikal, but then I need to say this.
Okay.
The your birthday one.
Okay, sure.
Can? Because that is where my fear is coming from also.
Okay.
Yeah. So
alright, okay.
One of the fear where it's coming from, right, is the next step is to do a procedure lah. The procedure will determine whether can or cannot. So, and that procedure is 4 days before his birthday. So, in the event that there is sperm, Alhamdulillah, it will be I can imagine it to be a very macam celebratory punya birthday lah. But if no sperm, then it's his birthday and like all these thoughts that goes through my head now macam
dah lah birthday,
Yeah,
kena potong, tak boleh enjoy.
Yeah, that is where some of the fear is coming from as well lah. So I just want to know how to support him better.
Yeah, but let me to answer Haikal's question. I think the fact that I've been constantly talking about it, thanks to Raihan also, definitely.
Yes,
But I'm constantly talking about it, the fact that ever since our episode, people have been asking me, and then in a way, I have one guy who follows us on Instagram. He's like a friend now. He will follow up with me and like share with me his stories and things like that. So I'm very glad because of that. So like for one, I'm much more prepared. And the second reason I would say is because now
Support system.
there's a support system, not just from my wife, but from people like Raihan, for people like I can mention his name, Lukman. So it's really something that I feel previously I'm in a land with like 1,000 against 1,000 soldiers. Now I feel like I have an army behind me, so I don't feel as affected anymore.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
I think that helps because there is that growth. Of course, when anything happened for the first time, with any news, be it someone else falling ill, you having illness, or even like your boss give you some last minute kind of assignment, there will be that response, right?
Yeah.
But what's important is how you grow from it, how you respond to it, and it seems that you have developed some healthy coping, some support system to be able to do that. And what I can say also, there is that healthy side of you, right? There's that healthy voice in you that is, some people may struggle because to them maybe like, hey, but this is the only thing that is like a huge part of my identity, right? If this part of my identity is being taken away from me, then it doesn't mean anything. But there are other parts of your identity that I'm hearing, right? One big one will be your role as a husband, right? And that to you is something that you take pride in. It's important for you, and that is a good protective factor for you as well in this matter.
But I think as a wife also can. One thing that I notice about him is his resilience. It's like because of course everyone has their own flaws. I have my own flaw also. But last time when he is faced with macam adversity, right? Nanti dia macam saya cakap I can see the life
Taken away from his
taken away
face.
from his face lah. But I feel like somehow this time after dah kena knock down kan, he just somehow got back up, and then like this second time he got knocked down again, then I can see that it's easier for you to come back up. So I would say your resilience tu macam it's built over time lah. Yeah, it's something that I very macam alhamdulillah.
I can do this all day.
I think I'm getting your support as well plays a part, right? Because in this journey, sometimes the response of the partner, plays a part, right? Because there maybe I would have couples where they come in and then you have one person who's like having the struggles, then the other one, like because of you lah, and then there's that guilt as well, right? So the partnership in this kind of journey also plays a very important role in how the other person responds as well.
I think in the because I want to ask Haikal 2 questions. But the one thing I want to touch on is the fact that the both of you are communicative. Kita ada Yan yang boleh express himself, and then kita ada Fara yang juga boleh express himself. But I think you have met couples where one tak boleh express, then the other is expressive, but the other is going through turmoil, the other is not going through turmoil.
Right.
So how do you balance that? Macam let's say kalau let's say for example in my case, let's say I'm the one having this fertility issue, I'm not expressive, but I'm constantly angry, annoyed,
love turmoil lah.
yeah, and then I'm letting it out through anger. And then on the other hand, my wife is trying to understand me, but she cannot understand because I never tak tahu macam nak berbual lah. So how do you deal with that?
So if the relationship, how strong the relationship plays a very important role here. I call this as the relationship bank. It's an account that you have with your partner, right? So think of it as a bank account, right? If you do something good to this partner, you are just depositing more into the account, right? And definitely in any relationship there will be withdrawals, there will be disagreements, but if you have done more deposits over time, then when you sometimes accidentally withdraw or need to withdraw, right? Because I got a bad time at work right now, right? So I got no time for you, but then the account is strong enough, then you'll be able to withstand it. So sometimes I'll ask them, right, like what's the bank account like right now, right? Is it in deficit or is it a very good, strong, right? If it's strong enough, then I think it sounds like it's safe for you to be able to speak up to your wife. But if let's say now the deposit is minus lah, right? Is in deficit right now, and so I guess part of it is you need to build that relationship with your partner before. If let's say you don't like this person and then this person comes and can you help me? The person also wouldn't want to. Why? Because the relationship is not there, right? So sometimes if you want to get that support, then it means that relationship has to be there first before you can get support. But of course there may be things that happen over time that makes it a bit harder. Then the first step will be to repair the relationship before you can look at getting support from that partner.
How would you advise a couple, especially kalau one is non-expressive and one it is, to repair this relationship?
So with repairing the relationship, and this is something that I was thinking as well, and as I was playing is what we're going to talk about, right? Would be to know what is important for your partner. All right, what is the needs that's important for your partner? Because in a relationship, right, unlike other relationship, it's not I wouldn't say it's a healthy relationship, but we are trying to meet each other's emotional needs, right? Because I mentioned this before. If you want to be in a relationship, right, why must I sacrifice for you? Why do I need to do this for you? Then what's the point, right? But it's about meeting each other's need. What if your birthday? Why do I buy your partner's a birthday present? Or because then they'll feel like they are being loved, they are being appreciated. So what is maybe the easiest way to think about it is like, what's the love language? Sometimes I'll look into like, when the two of you met, right? What was it about your partner that attracts you to them? Why is it about you that attracts them to you? Because then that will be the very core thing. They say things like, well, because he makes me laugh, right? I guess having that fun needs is important. They might go like, this last time, right? He takes that time to spend time with me, talk to me and all that. But now after busy, then don't want really. So there are these strategies that you can take to know. Well, it cannot be just. I won't say that. Okay, it means everyone applies, right? This technique, right? It will need to know what the strategies are for your partner, but go back to what led you to fall in love first.
I think I love what Haikal said about it's not being you have to sacrifice. Alah, kalau aku buat macam ni nanti dia dah kebiasaan lah apalah. It's really just in a relationship, woman and man. We are macam, if you love each other, you're supposed to meet each other's needs lah.
Complementing each other where they lack lah kan.
Correct. It's not so much of macam I don't want to do, for example, I tak nak, for example you cakap dengan I tak nak masakkan you sangat, nanti you dah macam naik lemak kan tu lah. Macam nanti you dah
itu
kebiasaan.
Namanya, I think I would put it under mengira in a sense, because the moment you start to count whatever that you do in hopes for returns from your partner, then I feel that kind of mindset doesn't come from love, but rather come from like
being calculative lah.
Because you need to come from the heart. Ikhlas hati, when you love someone, you do something because I want her to be happy. That's generally what I do in every relationship. So apart from talking, if I were to circle back to the part where about the fertility issues, if I were to I feel after, because I'm much more in control of my emotions right now. Then if let's say I were to just like blame God, blame everything,
I also just remember why I'm so scared. Because he was depressed before back then. I don't want him to fall back into that. So that is where the first coming from. Yes.
Well, the thing about depression as well, right? It is a diagnosis for someone to have depression. But for myself as a psychologist, I would see depression as whether it's a clinical depression or is it a typical depression. So what I mean is that we look at it, for me, I look at it as, is this a normal behavior in an abnormal situation, or is it an abnormal behavior in a normal situation? Right? So if, let's say, you have a bad news, right? You lost someone, or you had a miscarriage, multiple miscarriage, you feel upset, right? You cry for a few days and so on. Well, I think that is a normal behavior in a normal situation, right? If you are having a miscarriage, for example, or you receive some bad news about your fertility, and then you are okay, I would be more worried for you.
Right.
Correct? Because that is a normal behavior, right? So so if when it becomes an abnormal behavior in a normal situation, meaning that, well, after like a long period of time, you're still struggling, don't want to go to work, or you say like blaming God and all that. After the emotions have settled down, okay, then maybe we need to see, right, whether a diagnosis or what kind of support in terms of professional help or whatever will be necessary for that person.
They just put things in perspective for me.
Okay.
Because
I can see your mind. I can see the
I'm like, because when it's such a big news, right? Macam of course lah dia akan sedih. So like, why am I so macam kenapa dia sedih? It's because he is going through something lah. So it really puts in perspective. So perhaps I would channel my energy, my anxious energy ni more into macam, okay, looking into what you need, especially on your birthday tu kan. Kita tengoklah InsyaAllah, doakan. I will see what you need and
Right. So now with that being said, I think I love exactly what Haikal mentioned. So talking about then in terms of our husbands and wives, every partners in the world, sekarang whoever is listening to this episode right now, because we tend to question our partners' reactions or emotions upon receiving certain types of news. Like exactly what you mentioned, a common reaction. What do you call it?
normal
Normal reaction
reaction.
to a normal situation.
To a normal situation, or either asam mati pula lampu. So now with that being said, what are signs of I think coming from, I would like to hear from you, what are signs of a healthy relationship and signs of an unhealthy relationship when this kind of situation arise?
What we need to avoid
What we need to
doing.
avoid. And if let's say, sometimes our listeners, they might not know that they are in, what they are doing is probably something
Not
that
healthy?
they can be improved on. So maybe, and then sometimes they say, oh, my husband like this. We have a lot of submissions to my husband. This is my wife like this. And then I feel that because exactly this situation that you mentioned, a common situation in a common
Normal.
Allah.
Normal reaction. Normal reaction to an abnormal situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
normal
There you
situation.
go.
Yes. So I think this is very apt to highlight what exactly entails a very healthy relationship in every couple.
So one good evaluation of what a healthy relationship like, if the listeners are thinking about, right, will be, rate how strong your bank account is, right? Is it positive? Is it deficit? What can you do to increase the amount of deposits that you can have inside the account? The other one would be the level of emotions in a relationship. Now, a healthy relationship doesn't mean that the emotions are just going to be all positive, right? The thing about healthy relationships, the highs are usually not that high. The lows are usually not that low.
Okay.
Right? But in an unhealthy relationship, the highs are very high, the lows are very low. Right? Why? Because if you look at, for example, like abusive relationships, the lows will be, dia kena pukul, kena marah, and then I feel very useless. But the highs is the next day the husband buy flower. He buy flower. He really loves me, right? So the emotions are really up and down. But in a healthy relationship, unfortunately, it can get a bit boring. Right? Because
Tak ada drama,
there's
kan?
no drama. There's no like husband coming back, like is he coming back home tonight or not? Right? Those kind of things. So it can get a bit boring, but that is fine, because I think when we go into a relationship, what are we looking for? We're looking for security. We're looking for safety. We're looking to be understood. And when you get that emotional ups and downs will be somewhat managed within a certain range. Right? I'm not saying that there's not going to be ups and downs, right? You will get upset for whatever reason. Your mother-in-law does something, your neighbor is like making noise or whatever. But then it will be kind of like moderated, and in a certain way, that your partner is there to support you as well.
Wow, interesting. Dia macam, the Richter scale. When there's an earthquake, suddenly it spikes. When it spikes, disaster is coming. But on a normal basis, you just like tremor.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I think
you do
same
good.
goes to that, and same goes to your heartbeat lah. Normal dia macam gitulah. Healthy,
Yeah.
right? Healthy.
Healthy.
If you
Correct.
have some complications, it's like erratic.
So when I see couples for sessions as well, I'll ask them like, how have things been for you in the past weeks? And then of course at the start they'll be like, this thing happened, that thing happened. Then sometimes in 1 hour, right? Still going on and on. If I give them that opportunity, they will still go on. Sometimes I tell there have been cases where people at the staircase, they will still like, just now that they haven't finished yet. I thought we settled already, right? But as the relationship starts evolving to be healthier, they come like, I think it was fine, Then they'll be complaining about other things out of the relationship. Like, work is like that, this kind of thing. Then I'm like, I think, you are now ready. You're in a healthier relationship right now. So that would be a clue for me to know that they are doing quite fine right now.
I think it's also very important yang the wife and the husband has to play a part in this. Sebab kalau satu je yang play a part, then the other tak play a part, then eventually the ship is still gonna sink.
Correct.
Yeah,
So both nak kena be aware that you have to play a role in this relationship, which is very important lah.
Correct.
As husband sebab kita ni suami isteri kan. Jadi sebagai suami dan isteri memang kena ada bersatu padu. Kalau tidak, then I don't think it will go anywhere
It's like Haikal said lah, if only one person is taking care of the other person's emotional needs, but then there's no macam you je yang take care, but then your husband or your wife doesn't take care of you, it will be macam lopsided jugalah. And then that's where conflict arise and things like that.
Yeah.
I think for instance also, I feel that some of the stories that we have received, they share a lot about my husband do it. Ya Allah, what's wrong in my mouth today? Certain situations where they really complain about certain things that their husbands are doing. Maybe some even share about infidelity and things like that. So it comes about to show that probably what we have been talking about, and also now Haikal is already adding on, is like they don't have that bank of emotion, of love, the relationship bank, in a sense where we always advocate for healthy relationships, healthy communications, break the cycle and things like that. So I feel that really the key to a healthy relationship, the key to a happy marriage, I would say, it's to be boring. In a sense.
Why not?
I agree. But okay, I just want to share one example. So a few days ago, actually yesterday, my wife came back home. She had a long day outside, so she was very tired. And I pula was working in the morning shift, right? Because I was covering a DJ. So bila I balik tu, I was also very tired. And then we were both tired, equally tired, because I had to sleep early. She was back late.
Right.
And then eventually she was very naggy lah sebab dia penat. And then I was always naggy tau. Because I was also penat. And I was expecting dia balik the usual way. She will come home and she'll be like, sayang, she's very cheery. But this time she's like, it's like kacau aku
Salah sebut kau siap kau.
So I was a bit agitated. I'm like, apa ni, orang dia dah balik, lepas tu tak happy. Then I also want her to be happy so that I can be happy, because I'm really tired. And then so I started complaining about certain things lah, like macam, yelah, you balik kan bising-bising, that kind of thing. And then she just macam, habis dia balik, dia bising-bising, tak dia cakap. So macam, tak juga kadang-kadang when you ikutkan sangat that emotion or penat kan, sometimes you might do that also. But then because Alhamdulillah, I think we are in a healthy relationship where we are both aware that we are penat. So because of that, kita just macam, yalah, kita penat lah. Okay lah, fine, kita gaduh ni pasal kita penat. Okay, it's okay. So it becomes something that we can aware. We can resolve. But in the case where I think macam bila is unhealthy, the thing will escalate.
You faham?
Then it will become like macam like drama Melayu.
Suria punya drama gitu.
TV 9 just escalates, right? Because that's when they blame each other. Then maybe there are many ways to escalate. Like bring up I think one common one, like bring up things from the past. Like this, like that. Then like wait, the quarrel is about this, right? What are you quarreling about? This kind of things.
What are we fighting about? Okay.
So it's important, you need to make note the bank account that Haikal was mentioning is in terms of love, bukan memory saya tak pakai. Itu punya account kalau boleh jangan tentu lah, what's past lah.
Yeah, that's true. But speaking of which, I think some of the marriages here must macam unhealthy. They might be because they are holding on to a past that still haven't been resolved. Don't you think so?
Selling solutions, not promises.
Hi, it's Ira again from Sri Kandi Associates.
Okay, Ira, another question from our listener. I am currently staying in a 5-room flat and I want to downgrade. Is it possible?
Okay, for this question, it's not a simple yes and no answer. It depends on several factors. For example, the value of your current unit. It may be valued at high because it's a 5-room flat. However, it depends on what is the CPF clawback, what is the loan repayment that you need to make, and whether you can make a cash profit in the first place. So in the event that everything is fine and dandy, yes, definitely you can downgrade. But whether it's worth it or not, there's a lot of factors that we need to look at.
So it's not just about I want to downgrade, let's just downgrade.
Yeah, because it depends on later on how you want to pay for the next flat and whether it's a profit to you, whether it makes sense
for you to even downgrade the house.
To know more, you can contact us at Sri Kandi Associates at 8788-3559. Sri Kandi, selling solutions, not promises.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a what we call a schema therapist, right? So I look into how your past experiences shape the patterns that you create, right?
Okay.
So for example, one of the struggles that a person may have may be like this issue of or this theme of abandonment, like I cannot trust men because men always leave me, right? You know, they are out to lie. Then when they go into a relationship, right, their response would be different from someone who doesn't have this abandonment theme, right? They will be, I'll be checking on my partner's phone, right? And then even when they are checking on their partner's phone, for example, and this abandonment is like so strong, they'll be like, maybe, right? You know, another, maybe now don't have lah, right? But when they find someone else, they will leave me.
Hashtag lelaki semua sama.
So then that kind of like unhealthy thinking, you know, doesn't help. So there will be guys who go like, no, I let her check my phone, I let her do this, but still not
Tetap
enough.
dia tak happy juga.
Because there's all these other themes that still continue to impact them, right? So there is this like what we call baggages, right? That needs to be resolved. Sometimes it's not because of the relationship that you are in, but because of the past relationships that they have had. Now, and it's not necessarily, you know, with romantic partners, it could be relationship looking at how their family, how their mom and dad. You know, if you look at maybe like your dad is always like cheating on your mom, right? Then you also like, lelaki semua macam gini lah, something. And there may be cases where you know the dad is cheating on the mom, and the mom go like, next time when you grow up, you know, you must make sure you find your husband like that, you know, or maybe say that you need to work, you know, you cannot just rely on men. That will just change your mentality as well.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, okay. Can I circle back to the fertility part, right? Yeah, I wanna ask Haikal about how to manage these triggers. Okay, so I will explain. I will explain. I think last week we went to his sister's punya anak punya graduation. Kindergarten graduation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were like, kalian nak, can I say the name?
Can?
Okay, kalian nak graduate, you know, we're so happy. So everything is okay. We're still fine. Our emotions were still macam normal.
Yeah, we were excited.
Yes, excited.
But I told her, I scared I cry later. I scared I cry.
Yeah.
True enough, the moment she came out in her graduation gown, and she waved, wow, I started like, okay, oh no, it's coming. My sister, I mean definitely lah for her child kan.
Yeah.
Then when she saw us, she was like, they can see her mom like, you know, that kind of thing. She was so cute, and then she went on graduate. She went to take her she was wearing the motorboard and things like that. And then after the whole graduation ceremony, they had a performance. So I saw her dancing. She was like dancing and singing at the same time. She looked so adorable. Nangis lagi.
Yeah. For me, it's like, okay, so
Dia pun
how,
nangis lah.
I don't know, because I reflected back. Kenapa? Why am I crying so much? This is a happy occasion, right? But so what I felt triggered me lah, looking back in retrospect, is because there were so many kindergarten kids, right? It was like so many of them, hundreds of them, and I could see them all like standing next to each other on the stage, right? The image itself macam brought me to tears lah. And then on top of that, all the parents were there, all the grandparents were there, and I could see like they are so proud. Everybody is so happy. Oh my God, that's my son, my daughter. So I think that feeling of longing made me macam couldn't stop crying lah. So in these kind of situations, I feel like it's not. After that I didn't feel macam super sad, like I couldn't go on with my day or anything. But I would just maybe like to know how to manage in those kind of situations. Yeah.
Maybe I want to tambah a bit also. You know, after that we went home to my sister's place, and then before their bedtime is around 8:30. Then they said, can we have Uncle Yayan to make us to sleep, put us to sleep? And every time I'm there, they always ask that, can Uncle Yayan put us to sleep? I say okay. So they will sit in bed. And okay, come, doa time. Then they will have a whole routine of doa, start from them singing a song about baca doa and things like that. Then in the middle of it, and it happens every single time, in the middle of them singing, I will start to cry. but it's in the dark, so they won't see. If not, if they see, they will ask, "Uncle, why you cry?" You know. But this time, each time, and then I thought I'll be over it, but after the whole day of watching my niece graduate and in how, and then she came up to me like, "Uncle Yayan, are you proud of me?" He said that, things like that. Yeah, so she kecil-kecil ni, she like, "Uncle Yayan, are you proud of me?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm proud of you, sayang."
But when they sang tu, why you cry?
It's like I don't know. That's when I came out of the room after they sang their doas and whatnot. I was bawling, And then I told them, I don't know why I'm crying. Like nak kata they're super cute, The kids are super cute. Bukannya diorang nyanyi nangis ke apa. They said, "Okay, good night, Uncle Yayan. We'll see you again. Okay, next time you come again. Okay, you put us to sleep." It was very cute banters between my nieces and me. But I was bawling and I came out. I was like, I don't know why I'm crying.
Yeah, kita kat luar macam, Daddy kenapa? Why crying?
And I don't know why. So,
But for Raihan, do you have any things?
Oh yes, of course.
Moments like that you get triggered. Yeah.
To be honest, dulu I am always very triggered, easily triggered. I think the time when kita buat podcast sama-sama tu, and then right after that tu, I'm easily triggered. To the point yang kalau you kasi I baby je nangis. Tak payah nak buat apa pun tau. Just give me a baby, I'll cry. And then when I see kids saja, I'll cry. And in fact, because I pernah mention in the episode that I kan Pak Andam, bila orang buat salam restu je nangis. Because in my head is the possibilities that would not be possible.
Yes, it's the uncertainty macam kita cakap. Anxiety dia. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like seeing things that you keep asking yourself, is this possible
for me?
For me, like, what if this is not possible? What if I really have to accept the fact that this is not possible? Would I be able to accept it? So these kind of questions will always appear lah, and then it will always trigger the emotions. And in fact, that time it was a difficult time. Sebab just give me a baby, I'll start crying. And
but now you better a bit.
Better.
What changed?
Good question.
Because the answer for the both of you may be different here, and I cannot answer like what for us, like how to support and all that. I can't say that this is what you do, right? But I think the question that may be helpful for the both of you to have your partner answer, right? I want to understand, right? When you're crying, when you're up, when you're not upset, but you have all that emotions, right? What does the little Yayan, what does the little Raihan in you need at that point of time?
Wow, deep. Okay, I'll answer first. For me, at that point of time when I'm crying, I just need the feeling of certainty that I have my own, so that I can spend as equal time as what I have with whoever that I had at that point of time. So for example, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I have many of them. dah macam preschool lah pula kadang-kadang bila jaga dia orang kan. So the feeling of, let's say, if only I have my own. I mean, these are my nieces and my nephews. I love them. Tapi if it's on my own kan bagus. That kind of thought.
Yeah.
So it's the need of having your own blood and flesh lah.
Tapi the problem then is it's uncertain.
Kan?
So you will always have that.
Thinking. Dia macam what if.
So for it to be uncertain, right? What does that mean for you, that you don't have that certainty for something that you are the little you is really longing for?
Ni counselling session ni.
Kan? Deep question ni.
Because I cannot answer that question.
You can answer it.
Wow. I really think is the fear of being alone, I would say. That eventually macam you rasa macam, what if, let's say, kalau really I'm all by myself, no partner anymore, no parents anymore, I'm old and I have no kids.
Because you mentioned also you ada terfikir, should I let my wife go?
Yeah,
you had that thought, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to be a burden to somebody else.
You don't want to be a burden.
Yes. So there is a lot of things tau dekat situ. Dia macam, you want to be a good guy, good husband, good son, but at the same time, is this problem making me feel as all of it above? Is this the one that is bringing everybody down just because it's me being the problem? What if I decided to do what is best by letting go, and really just let the person live how they should be living, then I just accept the fact that I can just live on my own lah, daripada menyusahkan orang, that kind of thing. So the feeling of guilt actually also was there, because what if I am being selfish for keeping what I'm not supposed to keep?
Right. And so when we're talking about the triggers, right, it could be, carrying a baby, but then the thought goes to like being alone, feeling guilty, wants to live. No, I maybe want, maybe I should just be alone and not burden my wife and all that. That's where all that emotions come in, right? The trigger is carrying the baby, but then that self-talk makes it harder for you, right? So what would be a helpful thought that would be able to support you in that situation? I think that will be one. And then the other one will be, well, if let's say the partner is willing to support you, right? Hearing that, what can she do, right? Maybe the part of you thinking that, well, maybe I'm burdening, right? Maybe that is an answer that your partner can be able to give to you.
Yeah, I want to add on to that. So actually, you guys asked like, how is it now? So Alhamdulillah, it didn't really trigger me as much as I thought it would be anymore lah. And then, but the thing is, I still have this issue. I still have this problem. So what happened? Like, how did that podcast and after a few months help? Is that I come to an acceptance that maybe this is my fate. This is my takdir. And there is a reason for it. And also because I look at where I am right now and I look at the people around me, is that I am thankful for what I've been given. So dia macam acceptance and appreciation at the same time.
Appreciation.
So I have my wife who's also very supportive, and also I appreciate her as she is. So macam kita just accept it as it is. The worry will always be there. Macam contoh, macam kita pun worry like 1 year later bank account kita berapa, besok nak makan apa pun dah worry tau. Kan?
Sure,
But because those are things that we cannot control, they are so uncertain to the point that kalau kita asyik fikir macam sampai bila-bila kan kita akan fikir macam ni. So the self-talk has to step in. So I always tell myself, for example, whenever I have babies and they are my niece and my nephews, dulu I'll cry, but now it's like, if I can help this child to grow just like my own, and he or she succeed in life and thereafter, then I've done my part lah. It's like tak apa, I tak ada my own, tak apa, tapi I bantu budak-budak ni untuk be the best versions of themselves.
And maybe this could be because just me being the psychologist in me, right? Where I will look into like, how do you respond to the situation? Because even if you have the whole world supporting you, telling you that it's okay, don't worry, I love you for who you are, having a child is not the main thing, I want to be with you. But then that guilty thinking, that kind of like critical thoughts is still going to be there, then it will still continue to be affecting you.
Yeah.
Wow, I think for me also, if I were to put myself in the situation, kind of like, I probably nak kata the reason why I was crying and things like that, I think generally is the fear of, no, I wouldn't say fear, but like, I don't think I'll be able to have that, you don't know what's going to happen, right? And at the same time also, I feel that these girls are growing up so fast. That's one, And even a mom who sees the child every day, they will say the same thing. Like, they're going so fast, and they get to see every day. That for me, I don't get that much time with my nieces. Then next thing you know, they go in primary school already, and then like, I miss so much of their milestones.
Yeah,
and then like, and I won't be able to. Oh my god! Oh no!
Oh no!
And then like I miss those milestones. Then I won't be able to, at this current stage, I won't be able to recreate those milestones with my own child. So I'm never going to experience this. That was what I was feeling. Probably, because now when I'm talking about it, I'm gonna cry. So I think that is the reason why I cried.
Macam you were not able to actually spend that early years, but you were only able to spend now. But then also the next question I'll ask is, what are you gonna do to spend with for the next few years to come? Because that is also very important. Dia macam, one of the things that also help me in my how I eventually accept and all that is the thought that, okay, macam tadi you guys mentioned about going to kindergarten, graduation kan, and then tengok semua budak-budak ni cute and all that, and then the thought will come in, is like, if only I have my own, right? If only, this is my child and all that stuff. Then take a look, put yourself in another people's perspective pula, looking at you being that. Do you be like, okay, if you think that this is not your child, okay, but yet you're feeling like if only this is your child, why don't you act like this is your child? Wouldn't that make things better?
Okay.
Rather than, bila lah aku nak ada anak, kenapa anak ni tak macam anak aku? Kenapa ni bukan anak aku? Dia graduate, bestnya, cute-nya, tapi dia bukan anak aku. Instead of thinking that way, I start to think of, this is not my child, but let me treat like this child is my child.
I mean, be happy with them.
And be
also.
happy with them. Be happy for them. So I can be happy too. So the punya effect of thinking of what I don't have change to what I have.
And you appreciate what you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it becomes better for me.
Yeah, I think that helps also because there is that sense of loss, right? When you're struggling with that sense of loss, that there's this there's this destination, right? And you can see that this is how I reach my destination, and this is how it looks like. But then, but it doesn't look like I can reach my destination. I think what Raihan is saying is that, well, the destination is still there, right? But how you reach it, the meaning in nurturing a child or whatever. Can still be achieved, right? But it doesn't have to. Of course, if you're gonna go in the traditional way, it has to be your child, then if not, what's the point? I hear that as well, right? People say that if not, what's the point of getting married and all that? Like those kind of like beliefs that people may hold, right? But if this is not something that is within your control, what is that is within your control that you can do as well?
Sebab kita tak akan dapat control whatever that we cannot control.
True.
But whatever we can control is where we have to control it, and then so that we can live better lah.
Yeah, I think the idea is, of course, there's one reason for outside in also. There's one reason also we have people coming to share whatever that they can share, because I feel that this community that we have right now, the insiders and whatnot, they listen to us, alhamdulillah, is because they want to be enlightened. They want to find ways to get better in terms of their relationships, in terms of a lesson to take away from each of the episodes, inshallah lah.
What was the biggest takeaway for you today?
Today is definitely to be putting yourself in a situation. I mean, no matter where your situation is either you want to look it from a pandangan of, whether hidup you ni susah ke ataupun ada kemewahan yang dah diberi Allah for you to look at. And on top of that also in terms of communication, in terms of the relationships. Relationship bank.
For you, is the relationship bank? Is it?
For me,
biggest
it's something that I've learned today about the relationship bank. So next time kalau I penat, I have to understand that kita dua bank penuh. So tak apa, just faham dua-dua penat.
I think for me, it's still stuck. It's still stuck to be normal.
Normal situation
and abnormal.
Normal reaction.
Normal reaction in an abnormal situation.
Kita buat test ni.
But mashallah, thank you Haikal for sharing all this. I think it's beneficial lah for us and also for our listeners to take away as well.
Yeah. I want to add on one more thing.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes, of course.
I think I've shared this before on my IG itself, a video. Where because I've communicated with a lot of people who are also going through whatever we are going through, and the most common thing that they actually mention are what the things yang kita cakap tadi lah. Some of it say that I feel as a man, I feel as a husband, I feel as a this and that. The thing is, I don't think there is such a rule in this world saying that if you don't have a child, you feel as a man. It's just maybe society's perception.
Yeah.
That alhamdulillah dah berubah untuk menjadi yang lebih baik lah. So for us, what we have to focus on is ourselves and really macam finding the purpose of what we have now, so that we can navigate our life towards a better direction. I always believe like macam for the both of you, like right now with the situation that we are going through, I remember Yan, you told me that you macam rasa like it's still bothering you that this issue is still there. Then I ask you, what if maybe Allah's purpose for you is to actually help other souls who are hurting, and this longing is actually a way to let other souls be filled in terms of their buckets. What if you doing this right now is actually to bantu orang-orang yang lebih memerlukan, dan kalau sekiranya this, let's say lah, Allah kurniakan seorang anak, maybe outside will never be here. Maybe outside will never exist.
Yes, correct.
What if, and maybe thousands of souls out there, including myself, would not have that chance to speak up.
Nangis juga.
I think we thought we did have this conversation, eh?
Right. So I just feel like macam, there's a bigger purpose to whatever that we are feeling right now or what we are doing right now. So the fact that we are here together is like macam Allah dah susunkan.
Betul.
Like we have someone who is going through this, someone who is going through that, and someone who can mediate. So it's
Match made in heaven.
Maybe I can add also, right? It doesn't, we have our different identities and so on, right? But being a parent of 3, or having a child with, with disability or whatever, it doesn't make our worth less as a person, right? I mean, of course, people may say, but honestly, right, it doesn't make you less of a person, right? Maybe yes. Everyone have their own different struggles, and then it's how you actually make of it and how you overcome it. And one of the things I saw was quite powerful, right? If you saw $50, if I give you $50 note, right, would you take it? You would take it, right? Why? It's $50, right? If you see $50 note that's floating on the floor, but it's on the floor, will you still take that $50?
Oh, of course.
It's still $50, right? If you see that $50 kena step on the floor, right, will you still take it?
Yep.
I was sanitize first lah.
You still take it, right?
Yeah,
so the worth, right, does not really depend on like the situation that you're in, and that intrinsic worth is what you make out of it, right? So that would be something for you to think about, right? That doesn't take away your worth.
Yes, wow.
That's true.
So before we leave, right, if you would want more of Haikal and Raihan, right, you will be able to, inshallah, next year.
They have an upcoming project, both of them. That's one of the reasons why also we have them here lah, so that they can share their project. Because of course, I already mentioned to them, I would be listening to whatever that they are going to be planning for at the start of 2025. I'm going to be a very avid listener, that's for sure. Maybe you can share.
Boleh. So soon we are actually doing a project together. It's called the Uncomplicated Podcast. So it's a self-help podcast where we aim to actually empower individuals through self-help techniques, whether it's on career health, financial health,
Relationship,
mental health. So all these aspects. So it's like macam you're reading a book, but this time it's in an audio format.
So cool. InsyaAllah kita doakan semua urusan dipermudahkan. Right. And also Haikal, if our insiders want to reach out to you for relationship counselling ke apa, boleh tak?
Boleh.
Boleh.
It's possible. They can find to me. They can look at my website. So it's impossiblespsychservices.com.sg, or if they want to go DM direct to me to my Instagram, that's fine as well. _psychotherapist.
Psychotherapist.
Yeah, so it's not therapist as Thor. Yes.
I saw the hammer on the back of his phone just now.
He's a fan of Thor.
I'm Captain America. Right. Mashallah. Thank you once again, Raihan dan juga Haikal, for such a insightful conversation that we had today.
Insiders, if you like this episode, comment, like, rate, everything.
Yes. So kalau you need relationship counselling, you can look for Haikal. But if you need property counselling to see whether or not can I sell my house or not, will I be financially stable after this, that you feel worried, don't need to worry. Because Sri Kandi kan ada Sri Kandi Associates. You can always contact them at 87883559, ataupun
you can follow them on Instagram at srikandi.associates.
Yes, Sri Kandi, selling solutions, not promises. Come to the end of another episode of Outside In.
If you like what you hear, please follow us on all our socials: TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube.
Share it with all of your friends and family members so that they can benefit from this episode, insyaAllah. Till next time, Assalamualaikum.